Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Evening Devotion. Tonight's evening devotion will be out of Isaiah 51:3. He will make her wilderness like Eden. Let's go there. And we actually just did this chapter this last week. Let's see. The Lord's comfort for Zion. Listen to me. Verse 1. You who follow after righteousness, you who seek the Lord, look to the rock from which you were hewn. And to the hole of the pit from which you were dug. Look to Abraham your father, and to Sarah who bore you, for I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. For the Lord will comfort Zion, he will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in it, thanksgiving with the voice of melody. Listen to me, my people, and give ear to me, O my nation, for law will proceed from me, and I will make my justice rest as a light of the peoples. My righteousness is near, my salvation has gone forth, and my arms will judge the peoples. The coastlands will wait upon me, and on my arm they will trust. Lift up your eyes to the heavens, and look on the earth beneath, for the heavens will vanish away like smoke. The earth will grow old like a garment, and those who dwell in it will die in like manner. But my salvation will be forever, and my righteousness will not be abolished. Two more. Listen to me, verse 7. You who know righteousness, you people in whose heart is my law, do not fear the reproach of men, or be afraid of their insults. For the moth will eat them up like a garment, and the worm will eat them like wool. But my righteousness will be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. We read that one. Pretty powerful stuff. Let's see what the devotion has to say. Methinks I see in vision a howling wilderness, a great and terrible desert, like to the Sahara. I perceive nothing in it to relieve the eye. All around I am wearied with a vision of hot and arid sand, strewn with 10,000 bleaching skeletons of wretched men who have expired in anguish, having lost their way in a pitiless waste. What an appalling sight! How horrible! A sea of sand without a bound and without an oasis. A cheerless graveyard for a race forlorn. But behold and wonder! Upon a sudden upspringing from the scorching sand, I see a plant of renown. And as it grows, it buds. The bud expands, it is a rose, and at its side a lily bows its modest head, and, miracle of miracles, as the fragrance of those flowers is diffused, the wilderness is transformed into a fruitful field, and all around it blossoms exceedingly. The glory of Lebanon is given to it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. So do you know what rose he's talking about? Yeah. Do you know what lily he's talking about? Yeah, this is Song of Solomon here. Call it not Sahara, call it paradise. Speak not of it any longer as the valley of Deathshade, for where the skeletons lay bleaching in the sun, behold, a resurrection is proclaimed, and upspring the dead, a mighty army full of life, immortal. Jesus is that plant of renown, and his presence makes all things new. He is the rose of Sharon. Nor is the wonder less in each individual salvation. Yonder I behold you, dear reader, cast out, an infant, unswathed, unwashed, defiled with your own blood, left to be food for beasts of prey. But lo, a jewel has been thrown into your bosom by a divine hand, and for its sake you have been pitied and tended by divine providence. You are washed and cleansed from your defilement. You are adopted into heaven's family. The fair seal of love is upon your forehead, and the ring of faithfulness is on your hand. You are now a prince unto God, though once an orphan, cast away. O prize exceedingly the matchless power and grace which changes deserts into gardens and makes the barren heart to sing for joy. If you didn't already figure out, he quoted several books in the Bible. Song of Solomon was one of them. And he also spoke on several different issues. The main core of this is in the desert, which is the trials of life, being surrounded all about with all forms of troubles, being dead in trespasses, these bleached bones in a dry landscape, hot torment, grows the rose of Sharon, the lily of the valley. From them come the oasis that brings life back into those bones, a resurrection only known by those who know him, only received by those whom he has chosen. In that desert is redemption, and it comes from him and him alone. Though we live on this earth with these problems that we have, with these issues that we have, constant struggles, a life that always feeds us things we don't like, always gives us things we don't want, always returns to us the most horrible, horrible responses to even the smallest of good that we do. We have a Lord that pities us for being run into the ground the way we are, treated the way we are. A world that hates us. And until we're saved, we don't know why. We don't understand why. Why does the world hate me so much? Why am I such a failure? Why does this not work and that not work? You are not a child of the world. You are a child of God. This world hates you because it knows who you are, and it knew who you were before you were ever born again. I've looked back on my own personal life and looked at all the things that happened all the way back before I was ever born. And it was so funny because when I look back, I see faith in myself years before I was born. And I always wonder was it 1998 that I was saved? Or did it happen earlier than that and I just didn't realize it? I don't know. But this life has been a desert. And he has brought me through this life, the short life that I've lived so far. It's 51 years. He's brought me through this life, through this desert, to an oasis in the middle of the pond, surrounded by the cool trees, the shade. The middle of the pond is a small mound of dirt, and on it grows that rose of Sharon. And we were all gathered around, waiting for that rose to bloom. And when it does, when he does, the world will see him as he is. The world will know the truth. This last 2,000 years has been for a purpose. This quietness of the Lord has been for a purpose, is to show people who they really are, because those who would have faith in him will know why he's quiet and be okay with it. And the world goes on and on. Well, your God don't talk to you. True. Only in the ways you can hear. He talks to me in different ways. But when you do finally hear his voice, you're going to regret it. Because you won't like what he has to say to you. He's reserving that time for that moment, that hour of trial that will come upon the whole world. Everyone will know who God is, and everyone will be very aware of what's happening. The Bible records this. Everyone will know exactly what's happening. And because they will go out of their way to curse God for it, not realizing that all they had to do was turn. You would think, how can people make such a decision? If they know the truth, how can they make such a decision? I ask myself that all the time. But then I go out into public and I watch people, and then I see the answer why. In this life, we're going to be surrounded by problems. We're going to struggle with issues. We're going to always be fighting with things in ourselves and in the world. But our Lord has promised to redeem us from that. To redeem us from sin, to cleanse us, to change us, to remove us, and take us to a place far greater than this. And if we believe it, that's faith. Right now, shockingly, Many don't believe it. And many more are joining them. I can't even hold on or help someone else hold on to their faith. I do my own. I do good enough just to hold on to my own. But even then, I've kind of put it in His hands. Lord, hold on to my faith for me, because I'm not strong enough, but you are more than strong enough. He is always more than strong enough. If you're struggling, there's a reason why. If you're wondering where all this is going to lead, it's in the Bible. And we're at that moment. We're at that pinnacle moment when everything is about to change. And the world is watching right now, because the world has been, they were attacking early on. 2019 and 2020, partway through. They were attacking. Oh, look. Oh, look. Even the beginning of this year, or 2021 rather, they were attacking. They've gotten pretty quiet now. They're watching. They're realizing, I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna say they're right, but I'm gonna watch, because I'm seeing the things they've been talking about. Even the secular world knows all this is true. And that there's no escape for anyone who isn't. Well, there's no escape for anybody, period, technically. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep focusing on the truth. Don't let this world take away from you what you found. Don't let this world blind you to the reality you're already aware of. Let the world have the world. Let them enjoy themselves. We're going to go do something else. I love you guys. I thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.